Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
I'm Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
Welcome to our AGT The Champions preview, and this is our rankings for the 12 semifinalists. But I should make something clear. This is not our collective rankings. This is going to be sort of a battle of the rankings. Jess and I, we have each done our homework. We have thought out who we like the best, who we like the least, and we're going to go in order from 12 down to 1. There may be many disagreements within this video. We'll throw that out there in advance.
So be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared for that. And before we dive in, though, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. So I think one thing that we both kind of had in mind with our criteria is that this isn't so much who we think is necessarily going to win the show. It's more who we think personally should win the show, or at least move on based out of the people that are left.
Yeah, some of my list is based on that, but the person I have at number 1 is the person that I actually think will win the show. Yeah. I'll just throw that out there as a little preview for my list. I think number 1 is going to win the show for me.
Yeah, I'm not super sold on anyone on my list necessarily winning the show, but I think the number 1 person has a really, really good chance. But do you want to kick us off with number 12? This is where we might agree.
Okay, so number 12 for me is Hans. And I know that there's people out there that really like him. And I'm not saying that he's terrible. I just feel that I have seen this act before. And I've seen it done better.
I enjoy Hans on like it's New Year's Eve and I'm drunk sort of way, where it feels like I could go and watch him and be very entertained. But it's also... Yep. He's just not at the level of everyone else. Like, he is a camp act, and it felt like he should not have moved on past the first show. And yet, here we are, mostly because it feels like Hans is like the pet project of Heidi Klum, and he is still in the competition. I shudder to think that he might still be in the competition after Monday's episode.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. But
I just don't think so. But, who knows? Who knows?
Okay, well...
There are lots of people out there that really like Hans. And I like Hans, too. I just don't think he's going to do well.
No, I don't think he's going to do... I don't think he's going to do well. I don't think he should do well. But, AGT, you guys have a tricky way of surprising us already. Justice for Junior Creative.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, not letting that go. All right, I'll start with number 11. And I have here Duo Destiny, who I think they're talented, but I think the reality is we have two duos that kind of do somewhat similar things, and I feel like Duo Transcend is just up kind of here when it comes to like this aerial acrobat act that I've seen on AGT before. And I feel like if there are two of kind of the same thing on this show, one of them is just going to end up being buried a little bit. And Duo Destiny, that's where I think their destiny, I'm sorry for that, lies.
No, you're not.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm not sorry, but it is. I just don't see them and Duo Transcend moving forward.
And I've got Tyler Butler Figueroa at this place. And his act was good, but for me, it just wasn't up to where everyone else is. He's got a great story and he is talented, but I just don't see him beating out anyone else that's higher up on the list.
Yeah, and I have Tyler a little bit higher up on mine, not to give too many spoilers away from the next few minutes, but I think Tyler Butler Figueroa is going to be kind of a polarizing figure in the AGT community because it's going to raise the question of how much should we value someone's backstory when determining the success of their act.
Yeah, because backstory is important. Like, my number 1 has a great backstory, but he's also, or she's also, very talented.
What could it be? All right, let's go to number 10.
Okay, we both have JJ there.
Yeah, all right, so why do you have JJ there?
I have JJ there because I know that Ryan is in this competition, almost like what you said about having two acrobatics going on in this, that they kind of cancel each other out in some kind of ways, or one will be able to kind of go up and the other one will kind of get buried. It can kind of go either way, and I feel that way when you've got someone like Ryan that's in this competition who I think is a better comedian, and it's has nothing to do with age, backstory, nothing. I just think he's a better comedian. So if you've got two comedians that are fighting for this, I think JJ's in trouble.
Yeah, I just think, JJ, don't be upset. You made it to the semifinals on AGT, the champions. You're still a really young kid.
And you're funny.
Ryan has probably been performing longer than you have been alive. I just think he's got the experience and the material. And the surprise factor of JJ roasting the judges, it's gone at this point. There's nothing else that you can really add to that. Number 9 for me, I have Danya Diaz, and
I don't like that on your list.
I knew this one was going to be contentious, and at first, I'll admit, I had her probably higher up, but I started to think about it, and I was like, okay, I really enjoyed what she did the first time around, but a lot of it was also built on kind of the emotional construction of her story, and now that I know a lot about her story...
Oh, you only know one part about her story, so there is more to her than that.
There is more to her than that, but I'm also sort of thinking she's up against, and this is going back to what I said about Duo Destiny, Marc Spelmann / X is in this episode.
Who I have in the number 9 spot.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
This is, okay, so we're stopping this video now.
Yeah, no, I have him in that spot. This is the only time I've seen him.
Yeah.
This show. This year.
Yeah.
You've seen him before, so you've seen a whole bunch of other stuff. I thought that the one act that I've seen him do was good.
I don't even know how you want me to respond to that. His delivery is impeccable. He's got a cool character. Okay, I am biased, admittedly, because I did love him on Britain's Got Talent, and I thought he was extraordinary on Britain's Got Talent, even probably more so than he was on AGT. But he got Shin Lim to show up.
Great. And I feel like calling up Shin Lim and being like, hey, do you want to do this? And him saying, yeah, dude, no problem, is not that big of a magic act. Where we have Danya, who is an incredible magician. She's doing things for me that feel like she's mixing magic with the magic of storytelling, which I really like. So her presentation's really great. And she's a female magician. I really like that. You'd never really get to see that. It just isn't really a thing. So that gives her something that gives that little extra bit of magic on it.
I feel like calling up Shin Lim makes him worthy of at least 8th place. At least. I think he gets that much by default by calling Shin Lim.
I feel like after this video, we're going to go outside and have a knife fight over this.
It might be possible. All right, so I believe this is your turn now to get to number 8. Let's just stop that there before we go downhill any further.
Okay, here is where I have Duo Destiny, and I sort of have both of these within a couple of ranks with each other because I'm kind of worried that they're going to cancel each other out. And I'm not saying they're the same act. I'm just saying that there is some similarities with their acts that I worry that they're kind of going to get their votes split out.
I have here Tyler, and I have Tyler, I think, higher than you, mostly on the strength of whenever I watch him perform, he just makes me feel good, and sometimes you just go with like this crazy irrational sort of thing where I know that Brian King Joseph is a much better violinist than Tyler, and Brian King Joseph is not in the competition anymore, and I'm still a little bit salty about that, but I just think Tyler, he makes people smile, he's got this energy about him, and I think that translates. I mean, we're not at the point here where we're really predicting any of the finalists because all these people would be eliminated, but I have Tyler maybe as a slightly higher chance.
Yeah, and for me with Tyler, I think it was when I first saw him, I was like, yeah, he's good, and I really enjoy his story, and I really like him, and then Brian came out last week, and I was just like, whoa, and it changed everything for me, so yeah, that's why I have him a bit lower.
Number 7 for me, I've got Ryan Niemiller here, and this I think is probably a shock for a lot of people because I do really like Ryan, but I'm also trying to think who can I see kind of evolve their acts moving forward.
That knife fight is happening now.
The thing is that I as funny as Ryan has been, I also feel like I've seen a lot of Ryan, and I was just thinking in my head, not so much what the judges are gonna do, but what do I want to see more of on AGT The Champions? And I feel like I've seen a lot of Ryan over the past year. And if I want to go see more of Ryan, I'm sure he will be doing shows all throughout the LA area, and I can probably see like his normal act, which is probably, I don't know, probably not as toned down and just tame as it is on AGT. So I just feel like I've seen enough of Ryan that I'm not that excited about him possibly being, in the top 3, top 4 of this season.
And for 7, I've got Alexa and the dog act. It's a good act, and I really enjoy it, and I just love dogs, so there's no way that, I couldn't not have her higher on the list. I think that it's a really fun act, and it's hard, and like I said, it's hard not to love a dog act. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue about you having Alexa. I'll admit my 7, 6, and 5... I kind of was just like really, really close on all of them. I kind of went back and forth on where to put them, and I think any of them could end up being in the finale.
Yeah.
All right, so now you are up with number 6.
And this is where I have Duo Transcend. And like I said, it feels like...
This is a stank face.
I know, and it just feels like I think the thing I'm worried about is that they're going to cancel each other out because they are both... Duo Transcend is a gorgeous act. I really do love them. I am worried that they're going to cancel each other out.
I think that guy's muscles on Duo Transcend is just going to carry him through a lot of the other kind. Duo Transcend, I've got you. Don't worry. Don't just tune out this ranking Duo Transcend too low.
Listen,
I am your friend.
I like them. I'm worried about the voting because there's someone else. I'm telling you, this knife fight later, we'll film that and put that on here.
Yeah, I feel like with the shocked faces you have given me over some of the people I've got ranked apparently too low, adds to the variety.
Danya, why you have her at 9? Okay, all right.
Alexa's my number 6. Like I said, my 7, 6, 5 are close to each other. I was just thinking, okay, what would I rather see in a finale? Ryan, who I've seen a lot of over the past year, or Alexa, and maybe this is just me, being almost like a dog, like the one from Up that's just, looking around at squirrels all the time. Just throw a bunch of dogs on stage, and I'm probably in for at least, 2 minutes. And I'm just all right, just show me dogs having a good time, and that's enough to give me, apparently, the number 6 spot. All right, number 5, I have here Strauss Serpent.
Oh, my God! What is happening with this list? No! He's so good!
He is really good. I have him making it to the finale. See, it's all fine. He's still making it there. He will be okay with this. I think the thing is, talent-wise, he's there. I just think there's another gear with Strauss Serpent that I need to see. I need to see more of the interpretation and the storytelling with the music to go along with the crazy contortions and body movements. I feel like he is about 75% towards being a exceptional world-beating AGT act, and he's in the finale. He's in the top 10. I'm not gonna feel bad about him number 5. Strauss Serpent, it's all good.
Okay, I have Ryan at number 5.
Okay.
And I've already talked about kind of why I like him. I think his brand of comedy is very funny.
Wait, you gave me the shock face and you only have him 2 spots higher than me?
That's right.
Okay, all right, continue.
I have him in my top 5. I think that Ryan's really funny. I like that he makes people a little bit uncomfortable and makes it okay to kind of laugh at stuff that we would never really feel okay to laugh at. He bridges a gap, and that's why I think Ryan is really important to comedy.
He does make me laugh. Now, number 4, I gave him his due. Number 4 is back to you.
Okay, here's with, I'm going to say their name wrong, the Sandou trio.
Sandou trio.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love them. I thought that I couldn't figure out how they were going to keep upping it and upping it and upping it. And then she's blindfolded and flying in the air and landing on this bar. It was super cool. I loved it. It was so dope.
We can cancel the knife fight now because I also have Sandou trio at number 4. I think they are, I don't want to say they're a lock. I think maybe something goes wrong. I hope nothing goes wrong because that spells some really bad doom. But
knock on wood.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I hope it goes well. I think I like acts that make me kind of a little bit nervous while I'm watching them.
Me too.
And I would never do this. And I also like acts that I would never do. And so I just find them very, very entertaining. And I think they deserve a spot in the finale. And I thought their first performance on AGT Champions was just like out of this world good. The only thing I'm worried about is acts like this very rarely ever win this franchise. Okay, though, we're in the top 3 now. We are in the finish line. And here is where we try to have a cleanup on ILAGT Magicians. This is where X belongs. Marc Spelmann, number 3.
Which is where I have Danya.
Okay, well, I will make my case as to why...
I'm actually surprised you don't have him as number 1. I know how much you love him.
I was trying to think a little bit realistically in terms of... I mean, he was probably the act that I would go and pay to see the most, but... I'm also thinking about, okay, who do I think is the most deserving of winning this particular version of AGT Champion? So I'm trying to take out what I saw on Britain's Got Talent. I'm trying not to consider that. But I have X over Danya mostly because I think the character he plays is really, really interesting. I think his messaging is cool, and I think his big reveal, it's all about that big reveal as a magician, right? I think that his big reveal was head and shoulders above the reveal that Danya had, as emotionally resonant as Danya's performance was the first time around.
I just think with as much afterwards as I saw people talking about it, it seemed like a lot of people had been able to figure out what it is that he did and when the switch happened and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't see anybody doing that with Danya. And she just feels like, I feel like I'm part of her act. Like I'm part of her story. I'm part of her act. I'm part of the magic with everything that she's doing. And nope, she's number 3. You're wrong. I'm right. Knife fight.
Okay, well, here you go. This is the top 2, and this is where you will automatically spoil who your number 1 is because they won't be your number 2. But anyway, give us number 2 anyway.
Yeah, I have Strauss Serpent here, and I just love him. And now I am going to qualify this by saying that I completely understand that contortionists usually are not going to make it this far. Sort of danger acts and contortionists and these type of acts don't usually make it all the way to the end. Number 2, number 1, nothing like that. I'm going out on a limb here with him because I think his act is not 75%.
Okay.
It's 100%. It is so good. He's got such a cool, creepy movement about him. I just like what he's doing. I think I've seen a lot of contortionists over the years. I love these acts. And he is doing things in a way that I haven't really seen before.
And I still have Strauss Serpent moving into the finale, so, I think he's very, very talented. I just think there's another gear he can get to. That's it. And I think if he gets there, maybe he has a chance of winning. Okay, number 2 for me, Duo Transcend. This is where I got you guys, and maybe I cheated because I watched the sneak peek for them on Monday's episode. It is the best 2.5 minutes I've ever seen from an aerial act on this show. Their acrobatics were really good. I love how they did the Billy and it's almost like you just got to call the roller skating the Billy and Emily at this point. But, still, they did that but it's sort of like they did the acrobatic stuff and they did the roller skating stuff and there's danger and the music was perfect and the staging was perfect. Like, I even kind of like that they kissed at the end because it was just kind of like, oh, this is kind of sweet now. I'm really rooting for you guys. And it's just like, I'm emotionally invested in them. I think they're really, really talented. I like the danger of it, obviously, and they know how to put on a show. They're probably not going to win either because acrobatic acts never win this show like contortionist acts don't.
Yes, but I think if one would, it would be them. They are really incredible.
Yeah, all right. Let's just, on the count of 3, let's just get the inevitable out of the way here because we're in agreement. 3, 2...
Marcelino!
Okay, you jumped the gun! It's that one, you say the name. Well, guess what, everybody? As you might be surprised to know now, Marcelino is the number 1 on the list.
Sorry for your luck. I couldn't help it. I love Marcelito. I think he's going to win the show. He is my pick to win the entire thing. Not just with this rankings, because we're not talking about golden buzzers in this particular ranking. We're just talking about who's moving in next round.
Yeah.
I think he should have gotten a golden buzzer. I think he's going to win the show. I think Marcelito is like... I know there's other people out there that do this type of singing and can change their voices and do 2 different types of singing in one song and do duets with themselves. I have never seen it before this show. this season. It is the first time I've ever seen anybody do that before. Put on top of it his story, how humble he is, how cool he is. I just love everything about him. Marcelito is my pick to win.
All right. Well,
myself out
I know here. You got yourself too excited.
I love
with
him.
your Marcelito love. I think the thing is with me is that, you know, I have heard this kind of singing before, but it doesn't take away from what I think is just like an immeasurable talent he has and the ability to not only do two voices, but do them so well that I think he could be a professional singer in either voice. Yep. So it doesn't feel gimmicky. It doesn't feel like something that he's just doing to get attention of judges on a reality TV show. Like, he's legitimately really, really good at both of them. And
yeah, it's not a gimmick.
No, and I think that right now I would say Be Unbeatable, at least through the first round, was my favorite to win, but I am sort of still flexible on it, where I think of Marcelito, I don't know how he does this, but if he somehow manages to up his game further, maybe I would have him as my favorite entering the finale. I think there's a lot of potential there, but I think for sure he is the favorite of this particular show, and I don't actually think it's that close.
I actually don't think it's that close either. I think Marcelito is far and beyond everyone that's on this list. He, to me, is a lock to go to the finale.
Yeah, well...
And also, he's going to win the show.
We'll see about that, but we don't know yet. But let us know in the comments your own ranking, who you're rooting for.
Marcelito.
If it's Marcelito, if it's someone else, we also want to hear from you. If you did like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.